but like, there's no one there.
As he aims his camera toward the blank TV screen, you can plainly make out the reflection of a shadowy figure seated motionless on his couch. Yet the moment he whips around to look directly at the couch, there is not a single soul to be found. Decorative tree, then a doll, and then a series of plant pots that topple to the floor one by one. Shortly after, tiny...
I done seen a lot of shit I wish I never saw. I done seen my little sis fucking with that raw. I done seen too many nights breaking down the law. With my just in the game, running rock without a bar. I done seen money, I done seen broke, I done seen a couple.
Yo. Yo, hey, what's up, man? Hold on. Say now. Hey, yo, what's up, man? It's your boy, Mr. Infused, man. What's up? We back with another one. Yeah. You already know what it is, man. It's another one, yo. Check this out. It's Monday Madness, man. I just did one. We doing another one right now. You're back to back at y'all. You already know what it is. Another episode of Infuzed Reviews right now. You about to check out videos that are so scary and so real. They call the police sometimes. Yeah. So look, these are some real ghost plays, yo. We turned up right now. Listen, that last video I just did was smoking. I think this one right here is gonna smoke too. So I don't really know, but you know what we gonna do. We gonna get infused too. That's a little bit later on in the video. But yo, y'all tapped in, they can tapping in. Yo, y'all already know what it is. Subscribe, like to the channel and all of that, blah blah. Yo. Wait a minute. Again, shout out to the 50 subscriber challenge winner, Alice. Yo, we at you, Alice, man. Tap, man. Tune in, man. We want to get at you. We want to get you your prize, man. And look, looking forward to giving somebody else a prize, yo. The next prize is at 100, man. The 100 subscriber is going to get a prize of a value of $100. We might pick a couple of y'all. Who knows what's going to happen? Like, subscribe to the channel, yo. Get down. Get part of this new wave. The 100 subscribers going to activate that video. We're going to Kensington. We're doing a zombie challenge. 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to Kensington. We vibing with the zombies. So make sure that y'all all get this channel doing what we got to do so we can get out of here, get out of this basement, and go move around and see what's going on. Outside of that, you already know what it is. Mr. Infused. This is Infused Reviews. We about to get into these ghosts or whatever the heck is going on in these houses with these people, man. If they bothering these people, we about to check them out. Let's go, man. It's your boy, man. Holla, man. Let's go. Where the ghosts at?
In an apartment with her boyfriend, and she says the place has turned into a magnet for deeply unsettling events. Doors fly open and crash shut on their own, as though something invisible is forcing them. Then one night, the couple returns home to find something absolutely chilling peering out at them through their own window. But it doesn't stop there. The strange occurrences keep intensifying with each passing day, until one night, while both of them are inside the apartment, something happens that shakes them to their core.
Let's see if we can get wifey to give me a coffee. See how this go, man. So she's gonna get it, man. We're gonna see.
Wait! There's legit no one in here, dude.
Oh, yeah? See how that goes.
No one is in here.
Is there a dark and malevolent force hiding somewhere in that apartment, lurking in the shadows and making their lives a nightmare? That's entirely up to you to decide. A cemetery worker claimed he had experienced a number of bizarre incidents throughout his time on the job.
Hey, in the office.
What you thought it was going to be?
Check the board for things that I gotta do. And I heard either knocking on this door. This is the bathroom, so it's not that.
On one particular occasion, he was alone in his office, going through a list of tasks he needed to complete, when suddenly he heard a series of loud, heavy knocks at the door. Intrigued, he got up and pulled the door open, only to find absolutely no one standing there when he scanned the area.
That smell. That nasty rotten smell.
For a candle. Yeah, we should start burning candles, right?
I smell that anywhere.
When I come down here, yo, we should start burning candles. Start burning candles.
As he continued investigating, he was hit by an intense, foul odor that seemed to have no identifiable source. That mysterious stench only added to the already creepy atmosphere.
Disgusting smell. Okay, we're out.
Shit, we're not doing
And just as he was still trying to wrap his head around everything, objects inside the garage started dropping to the floor out of nowhere. That was the point where genuine dread set in. In another incident, the same man was once again alone in his office when something unsettling began unfolding around him.
Oh, I tried catching it, guys. This door was just swinging back and forth. Open, closed, open, closed. I don't think I caught it.
With no apparent cause, the door began repeatedly swinging open and slamming shut on its own.
Go ahead and do it. Holy shit.
Determined to get to the bottom of it, he pushed the door all the way open and held it there. Then, within seconds, it slowly drifted shut by itself.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro. Make it swing over.
Thanks for listening.
The truly chilling part? There wasn't a single soul in sight. He checked the entire hallway, and it was completely deserted. So what do you think was actually behind that door? Linda was fast asleep beside her husband when a jarring noise jolted her awake. After investigating, she discovered the curtains had been thrown into a strange, displaced position. She was certain the house had been locked up tight, making it nearly impossible for anyone to have gotten in. Even so, what she found on her doorbell camera left her terrified enough to dial 911 on the spot.
For bed. Yeah, dude. Something's in her fucking window right
Okay,
now,
baby,
bro.
stop being hyper, please. It's scaring me.
Ready? Something's in our fucking window.
Hold on. You're gonna hear 3 knocks. The first one is with whoever is holding our curtain where you can see into our house. We're both still in the bed at this point. This is gonna be the first knock. So whoever is inside our house right now, and they've got the curtain pulled up to beat on the door. You're gonna hear the first one, you're gonna hear the second one, and then the third one. Play it. Second, third.
The sound had been abrupt and unsettling, and the footage unmistakably showed the curtains being violently wrenched shut at a startling speed, yet not a single person was visible, and there was no way wind could have been responsible. The following clip shows Linda walking police through the scene at her house. The responding officer concluded there was no sign of outside interference and suggested whatever happened had come from within the home itself. Linda was adamant that nobody else had been inside, yet the sheer force and volume of that curtain slam made the whole thing feel impossible to explain away. Looking more carefully at the footage, I noticed a shadowy figure lurking in the corner behind the curtain a split second before it flew shut. Linda never brought this up herself, but plenty of viewers took it seriously and urged her to do a thorough sweep of every room. While many pointed to that figure as the culprit, others were convinced something paranormal was at work. To this day, Linda still has no explanation for what shut those curtains. What's your take? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. A woman named Natalie recorded some deeply unsettling CCTV footage from her child's bedroom late one night. The father was hanging out in the room with his kid, watching TV and scrolling through his phone, when something alarming unfolded.
Bruh.
Can I go see what it is? And then they'll come back and see.
Yo. Hold up. Hold up.
Hey, this is my name.
Hold up. Hold on, y'all.
As he strains to shift the heavy stone aside.
Hold on. Something very strange is happening. Something very strange is happening, y'all. Yeah.
One night, the father was hanging.
Listen. Watch this very closely. Something's happening right in front of their faces, right? This dude, whatever he's watching on his phone, he is going to sit there and keep watching on the phone. The kid said, yo, I'm about to go check this out. Watch closely and listen carefully. That's what I see. Yo, what the heck just happened? Yo, he just kept on looking in his phone and the kid got up and checked it out.
Out in the room with his kid, watching TV and scrolling through his phone, when something alarming unfolded.
Can I go see what is that? And then they'll come back and see.
Kid is a boss. Kid is a boss. She's a sucker, yo.
This is my name. This is my name.
Yes, sir.
First, an object suddenly drops from the TV stand. A Ziploc bag slides off completely on its own. immediately grabbing the attention of both father and child. Then, as the child walks over to retrieve the bag, an eerie voice can be heard. What sounds like breathing, followed by something resembling the word hi, or possibly mine. What makes this even more disturbing, and the actual reason the family posted the footage in the first place, is what was found inside that bag when it was picked up. A post-it note with the child's name written on it. Nobody in the family had written it, and none of them had any idea it was even in there. This led them to suspect the voice captured in the footage might belong to a witch, and that whatever they're dealing with might be behind the whole incident. A number of viewers have also pointed out that the black TV screen was essentially functioning as a mirror, positioned directly across from another mirror in the room. On top of that, the family had already documented another strange event before all of this, though they're not entirely certain whether it's connected. Their outdoor security camera picked something up late one night, and here's what it recorded. Two unusual balls of light appear in the sky. One stays completely motionless while the other shifts position. Then, on a separate night, the camera triggered an alert detecting movement inside the child's room, despite no one being in there.
Orbs.
A single glowing orb can be seen slowly rising near the bed, growing in size, then repeating the same drifting motion around the bed again and again. The family are convinced all of these events are linked, and that something dark is at work. But until further updates come through, this one remains open. A TikTok creator known as The Black Orchard Films is a real estate agent who has previously recorded some remarkably persuasive poltergeist encounters inside properties he was showing to potential buyers. Now, however, he's convinced that something dark may have actually trailed him home from one of those locations, and is making itself known right within the walls of his own residence.
Is he, am I tripping or something?
All right, y'all. Remember, I just asked about the call. She said she gonna make it, but I gotta go get it. So y'all gonna have to wait real quick, or y'all gonna try to rock out, man. I'm just trying to grab it. I'm gonna be down for a minute.
There's no one there. What's?
Hold on.
But like, there's no one there.
As he aims his camera toward the blank TV screen, you can plainly make out the reflection of a shadowy figure seated motionless on his couch. Yet the moment he whips around to look directly at the couch, there is not a single soul to be found. He continues shifting the camera back and forth between the television and the empty cushions, but he just can't seem to catch the figure appearing in the actual room. It only shows up in that unsettling reflection, but we are at
Coast is clear. All right. So that there's no spider webs, guys. That's not what it is. I don't know what that thing was that was hanging like right there. I have no idea, but that's not what the video was about. The video was about the spirit that was walking around over here the whole time. So that's what we're gonna cover. So don't worry. I got you guys.
Live tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm going to be showing you this from the actual Ring app on my iPad so that we can all walk through this together. I am not tech savvy. I don't know how to edit anything, so this is how I'm doing it. So let's get started. Okay, so this is on my iPad right now. I'm about to play it for you guys so you can actually see what's going on. And I'm going to point it out to you guys, so don't worry. So here we go. I'm going to hit play. She's saying, helmet, come out, wherever you are. So you see this thing up here, flies up here, comes back down. She grabs her helmet. She walks over here. Look, watch what happens.
Outside, so you know.
She's like, it's right there. it's like going up the pole. This part where I walk out, and then it just goes over here. It's right there. You can literally see it. I think it's just chilling over here the whole time. Yeah, dude. Watch. And then I go over here. She goes inside. I go back out here. Oh, by the way, this is not what I'm talking about, guys. I don't know what that is, though. It looks like something like a spider web or something. But if you go back over here, you can see it right there. And then I leave. It's right there. I have my finger on it. It's white. Watch it move. And then it goes to the next record. Look at that. Watch what it does. And then it literally walks out of the garage and doesn't come back. Look. Look. Just goes into the garage. And then it's gone. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. But if you look right now, there's nothing there. There's that, and there's that. But other than that, there's some cords and stuff. But again, there's my Ring camera, and there is no spider web. So I don't know what that is. That looks like a spider web to me. Anyways, this is the next point of the video. So I'm wondering if it's over here. Yeah, I don't think I see anything. Do you guys see anything? I don't see anything.
I hope y'all saw something. She sounded boring to me. Was she boring, y'all? I'm sorry.
In that second video, she walked viewers through a complete tour of the garage. She examined the camera carefully, looking for spider webs, floating dust threads, or anything else that might have set off the motion sensor, which, as it turns out, is a surprisingly frequent culprit with home security cameras. But in this particular case, there was nothing, no webs, no debris near the lens, no obvious cause for the shape that drifted across the screen. A lot of viewers have come to the conclusion that it was a benevolent spirit, someone keeping a protective eye on her. And she herself remains firmly convinced it was her sister paying a visit. She's also noted that nothing unusual has happened since. So, where do you stand on this one? Was that genuinely a spirit captured on film, or is there a rational explanation hiding something? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, the next story comes from the Sherborne Sutherland Videos channel, showing a series of unsettling experiences that one woman's sister simply cannot make sense of. While she was at home keeping their grandfather company, she started picking up on what seemed to be the sound of footsteps coming from the floor above. The trouble was, nobody else should have been up there. Shaken by what she was hearing, she pulled up the Ring camera footage, which had recorded the whole thing. She jolts upright the moment strange sounds reach her from upstairs. Leaning in and listening carefully in the quiet of the room, there's no mistaking it, those are footsteps. Naturally, she goes up to check it out, combing through every inch of the floor above, but finds absolutely nothing. Then, just a month down the line, that same camera caught yet another deeply unsettling moment while she was alone in the house.
So he was going to the world. Bruh. Put him on camera.
She's standing in the kitchen when a loud bang erupts from somewhere overhead, stopping her dead in her tracks. She stands completely still, barely breathing, straining to hear whatever might have made that sound. To this day, no explanation has ever been found for either incident. What makes it all even more haunting is that the home once belonged to an elderly man who later passed away after an accident in Russia. Now the family can't help but wonder whether whatever they keep hearing might be the former resident finding his way back to the place he once called home. Moving into a new home is meant to feel like the beginning of something new, but for Kyle, that sense of optimism didn't stick around. He just closed on the property and decided to record a quick tour while the rooms were still bare. He was entirely by himself, filming the long hallway when things took a strange turn.
I was alone, and this happened. Good.
The lights began switching on and off one after another, cycling in a slow, purposeful rhythm that had nothing to do with faulty wiring. Down at the far end of the corridor, a door gradually swung shut on its own. Kyle approached and pressed against it, then stopped cold. There was resistance coming from the other side. Something was pushing back. You can hear the bewilderment in his voice as he calls out to ask if someone's there. After a few agonizing seconds, the force simply vanishes and the room behind the door is completely vacant, but the strangeness is far from over. As Kyle ventures further into the house, another door begins shaking violently inside its frame.
What the F is going on?
What the F is going on?
Things are going crazy now.
Bruh. Yeah.
Then a sliding door starts moving on its own, opening and closing in that same unhurried, calculated way. As though guided by an invisible hand, the atmosphere grows thick and the quiet between each event becomes almost suffocating. By now, any trace of excitement in Kyle's voice has drained away entirely, swallowed up by dread. He understands this isn't some fluke, none of it is accidental. The house appears to be responding to his presence, reacting with every move he makes. Whatever has been living here didn't follow him in through the front door. It was waiting long before he arrived. And now that it knows it's been seen, it may fan. The night had been going smoothly dinner with friends in Perth, followed by a casual walk through the city.
What?
The kind of thing he had almost certainly done countless times before. Nothing about his stroll seemed out of place, and there was no reason to think it would mark the end of an otherwise unremarkable evening. Across town, however, a very different night was taking shape. Earlier that same afternoon, Alicia Kemp, a 25-year-old backpacker from England, had been out drinking with a group of friends. She had spent time teaching English in Vietnam before making her way to Australia, where she intended to keep traveling through Southeast Asia. Court proceedings revealed that the group moved through several venues before being turned away from another bar due to how intoxicated they were. For most people, that would have been the signal to call it a night. Instead, it set off a sequence of choices that investigators would later reconstruct moment by moment. At around 8:30 on the evening of May 31st, 2024, Kemp and a friend hired an electric scooter. Police stated that Kemp was at the controls while her companion rode behind her. The surveillance footage opens without any sense of urgency. People stroll along Murray Street, wrapping up their evenings, heading home after meals, or catching up with friends. Everything looks completely normal, right up until the scooter comes into view. Witnesses later told investigators it was moving at speed, cutting between pedestrians rather than holding a steady line. Prosecutors stated it was also traveling at more than double the speed limit permitted for electric scooters on that footpath. Then, in a single moment, it was over. Investigators say the scooter hit Fan from behind. Emergency services reached the scene quickly, and he was rushed to hospital. Despite everything medical teams did, he passed away 2 days later. The friend riding with Kemp also sustained injuries, but went on to recover. As detectives worked to reconstruct the incident, further details came to light. Court records indicated that Kemp's blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal threshold for operating an electric scooter in Western Australia. Prosecutors also put forward evidence that she had failed to reduce her speed while moving through crowded pedestrian areas in the moments before the collision. When the matter came before the court, Kemp entered a guilty plea to dangerous driving causing death. During sentencing, the court was given a sobering account of the toll the loss had taken on Fan's family. His wife described him as the person who kept their household running emotionally, practically, and financially. Their 2 sons, both of whom are autistic, had depended on him deeply in their day-to-day lives. Among the most heartbreaking details shared in court is that their eldest son kept asking when his father was coming home, unable to fully grasp why he was no longer there. The judge acknowledged that there had been no deliberate intent to cause harm, but made clear that responsibility still fell squarely on the person who had been operating the scooter. She also stressed that electric scooters should never be dismissed as harmless, simply because they are smaller than a car. Kemp was handed a 4-year prison sentence and will be eligible for parole after completing a portion of that term. The case has since sparked wider debate about electric scooter regulations across Western Australia, with some areas pausing rental schemes while authorities took stock of the rules in place. The footage itself runs for only a few seconds, yet it stands as a stark reminder that everything can shift in an instant, not through some dramatic catastrophe, but through a string of small, seemingly inconsequential decisions that only reveal their true weight when a paranormal investigator who goes by the name B has built quite a reputation for herself, venturing into derelict structures and graveyards all across the country. Though she typically brings a full team along for her expeditions, she sometimes ventures out completely. This creepy footage was posted by Reddit user healthy_average_9389, who claims it was captured during a late-night trip to Corbett's Canyon in Oregon. After pulling over on a remote mountain road, the uploader and a friend got out of the vehicle and started sweeping the darkness with a flashlight. Everything appeared quiet and empty at first, but then, just moments later, they spotted something so deeply unsettling that they rushed back to the car and immediately locked themselves inside.
Like, there's just absolutely nothing out here. But yeah, see the road. Ooh, right. Road closed. And I'm just like, not trying to see some crap. So we decided.
And as we walked out and we heard noises behind us, and we ran back to the car. Not saying we're like P words or anything.
As the flashlight beam pans across the tree line, it briefly catches what looks like a tall figure standing motionless among the trees. Right next to the dark shape is a long, slender object that almost resembles a staff being held vertically in place. The figure doesn't move even slightly. After going back and watching the footage, the 2 witnesses reportedly felt even more disturbed than before, and wasted no time getting out of that area.
That's a good ass light. Yeah. Okay.
Now, the eerie silhouette may have simply been a tree stump with overlapping branches arranged in a way that mimicked the outline of a cloaked figure, but then why did it stand out so starkly from everything surrounding it? Was this just shadows falling together in an unsettling pattern? Or was there actually someone dressed in dark clothing, standing silently in those woods, watching them the entire time? This next case centers on a man named Josh, who has spent the last several years trying to determine what exactly is sharing his home with him. According to Josh, everything started on an ordinary day when he pulled up to his house after work and parked out front. Before he even opened the car door, he glanced toward one of the windows and spotted a dark silhouette standing behind the glass, apparently watching him pull in. The issue was that the house was supposed to be completely empty. Fearing a break-in, he rushed inside and went through every single room. No doors had been forced, no windows were open, nothing seemed disturbed, and there was absolutely nobody standing near that window. Initially, Josh tried to rationalize it away, telling himself he had probably mistaken a reflection for a human figure, but the image refused to leave his mind. That nagging feeling was ultimately what pushed him to install multiple cameras throughout the house. If something was truly there, eventually one of those cameras would catch it, and that is precisely what happened.
Okay. Shout out to Josh. Why do you got that dog right there? Look, the dog flew off the thing. Bruh. Come on, give it to me, y'all. Your boy Mr. Infuzed be on point. Oh, that one goes too? Good job. So you're African. Why would you have a
In
little
one
white
piece of basement
China
footage,
doll?
several objects begin shifting entirely on their own. First, a small decorative tree, then a doll, and then a series of plant pots that topple to the floor one by one. Shortly after, lines of light drift across the frame. Now, those small lights could very well be dust particles catching the infrared, and that is a perfectly reasonable explanation. What I find much harder to dismiss is the way the objects move in sequence, almost as though something is passing through the room and brushing against everything along the way. Josh kept the cameras rolling, and a few weeks later, another one picked up something even harder to explain. Except this time, there was nothing to see at all, only something to hear.
I don't know what to do. But alright, a couple more. Josh got company. Makes sense now. Ooh, words.
Out of complete silence, a woman's laughter suddenly rings out somewhere in the kitchen. Josh maintains he was alone in the house, and that no television, no radio, and no other device was running at the time. Look, hearing any unexplained sound inside your home at night is enough to rattle you. But hearing a woman laugh when you are certain no one else is there is something on a completely different level. Not long after that, the basement camera picked up the sound of footsteps crossing the empty room. They are heavy and unmistakable, yet nobody ever comes into view. On yet another occasion, a low, raspy voice was recorded near the bathroom, appearing to say a few words, though they are hard to make out clearly. It was around this point that Josh began noticing a pattern forming. First came the figure watching him through the window, then the objects moving, the laughter, the footsteps, and now a voice. It was almost as if whatever was in that house had stopped simply drifting through it, and had started making it known that it was aware of the cameras. That suspicion became much harder to ignore when one of those cameras caught a figure moving through the kitchen. At roughly 8 in the evening, a dark silhouette slides in from one edge of the frame and moves steadily toward the cabinets. The shape is roughly the size of a person, but it vanishes before we can get any real sense of what we are actually looking at. To Josh, the figure bore a striking resemblance to whatever had been standing at the window on the very first night. But as unsettling as all of that was, the most disturbing clip was still ahead. Josh had positioned a camera aimed down a hallway, most likely hoping to catch more shadows or footsteps passing through. But what showed up was not in the hallway at all. It was on the ceiling.
What? Don't tell me that face again, upside down.
Bruh, look at this dude.
Hey, yo, what?
Through a gap in the ceiling, a pale, vaguely human head begins to slowly push through. It does not attempt to climb down, and it does not scan the room. It simply hangs there, staring straight into the lens, and that is the detail that unsettles me most about this entire.
I just said it 10 minutes ago in the other video. What is going on with these videos? What is this? What is that, yo? Why is this the new trend of how ghosts are presenting themselves upside down in doorways? Like, what the hell is going on? This is number 6 or 7 time I seen a video from somebody making a video about somebody hanging upside down in the doorway. And can y'all please tell me what's going on? If you know what's going on, please give me a like, comment, like, let me know what's going on. What's this? What's up? Before was never was a thing. Upside down ghosts was never a thing. Why is this a thing now? Look at this.
case. Whatever that thing was, it does not appear to have been caught by coincidence. It turns its face directly toward the camera, as though it knew precisely where it was mounted, and had come into view purely to be seen. Josh says he inspected the space above the ceiling afterward, and found no one concealed up there, and no.
It's like we're in a box and people are looking in at the box. Like we're in something and something keeps peeking and observing us. Like we're in. How is this up? What is? Why? You understand what I'm saying? Like if we're looking up at something, how is something upside down? Like something is like. Are we in a box and something is looking at his head inside of it? Like what the hell is going on?
No opening that would explain how anything could have appeared that way. Now, each of these recordings might have its own separate explanation, but taken all together, I cannot stop asking myself whether Josh set up all those cameras to keep watch over whatever was inside that house, or whether, from the very first moment, that thing had already been keeping watch over Josh. As always, I will let you make up your own mind on that one. This eerie clip was originally posted by the TikTok user WV Paranormal. The footage comes from an infrared security camera keeping watch over the back door of a residential property in the middle of the night. At the start of the recording, the entire yard sits completely still, not a single thing stirring. Then, just a few seconds in, something begins to drift into view from the far end of the path. Pay close attention, and you'll notice a pale, stretched out shape gliding slowly past the bushes before it vanishes into the dark. According to whoever owns this footage, the camera's motion detection and human tracking functions never once went off, as if the system had no idea anything had moved through the yard at all. No definitive explanation has ever been established. Certain viewers think it was nothing more than a bug flying extremely close to the lens, its shape warped by the infrared exposure. Others aren't buying that, arguing that the object appears to be traveling much deeper into the yard rather than hovering right in front of the camera. If they're right about that, then what exactly slipped through the frame without setting off a single sensor? In August 2023, a TikToker going by Mike Runner posted footage of himself venturing through an abandoned school. The structure had been left to decay for years, and Mike makes his way through its hollow, empty hallways. Strewn across the floors, he comes across old drawings made by children that were left behind. Most appear harmless enough, but a few depict disturbing figures that seem far too dark for a kid to have drawn. What makes it even stranger is that these drawings are scattered across multiple separate rooms, rather than grouped together, giving the impression the place was abandoned in a panic.
Said that.
As he pushes deeper inside, an odd metallic sounding voice suddenly becomes audible. There's no clear source for it, but the warped, eerie sound echoes through the corridor in a deeply unsettling way. Some people in the comments were convinced it had a paranormal origin, while others argued it was nothing more than a sound effect added in editing. Even so, in that moment, the voice feels chillingly genuine.
I thought he put it in there. Now, the first time it called me, I thought that's why I said, yo, who said that? That's the reaction.
Inside one of the rooms, a tall, dark figure stands motionless in the corner. It doesn't react, doesn't shift it, just stays there. It's easy to overlook at first glance, but the moment your eyes find it, you can't look away. There are those who say it's merely a shadow or a piece of furniture, but plenty of others feel its silhouette looks far too deliberate for that. Either way, it's difficult to escape the creeping sense that something or someone never truly walked out of that place. A home CCTV camera recorded this footage, showing a young boy lying in bed alongside his father, just moments before something deeply unsettling unfolds on screen.
You're scary now. No, you're scary now.
Scary friend.
Scary and friend don't go together.
On the surface, nothing appears out of the ordinary. The two were simply resting together until the child abruptly tells his father that a scary friend is standing at the door. The father slowly shifts his gaze toward the doorway, but the boy keeps insisting the figure is still there. According to the father, nobody else was in the house that night, just the two of them, which makes what follows all the more chilling. Right after the child speaks up, the hallway light switches on by itself, with no one anywhere near it. And that still wasn't the end of it. Later, once both of them get up and walk out of the room, the camera picks up one more detail, the bathroom door drifting shut on its own, with no one around to push it. The father had no idea this had even happened until he went back through the footage, and what he saw left him completely shaken. A woman named Destiny was home by herself when a lightning bolt struck just outside her property. At that exact instant, something or someone made its way inside.
Who the hell?
Bruh.
Following that powerful strike, she got up to look around and assess any damage. With parts of the house losing power, she set out some candles to keep things lit. When she pulled up her security camera footage to dig deeper, she was horrified to find that something had genuinely entered her home at the precise moment lightning hit.
So watch in this right corner, right when the lightning strikes. There. What is that? What is that?
For a fraction of a second, a solid, unfamiliar shape appeared on the floor in a brief burst of light before disappearing entirely. Destiny had no idea what she was looking at. She'd already contacted the fire department to come check the electrical system, and it was becoming clear that something far stranger than a lightning strike had taken place that evening. She went back through the CT recordings from that period, which covered both the firefighter's inspection and something deeply unsettling that unfolded during it. See for yourself what the camera picked up.
Yeah, you said the house, we got to the house. No, we were inside. We were there. Yeah. Then there was a little house shook. Oh, I thought it was like one tower. You go up. Another floor. No, that's what I mean, it's kind of like city blackouts. Neighbors still have towers, so.
As the firefighters moved through the house doing their checks, a shadow shot across the frame from one side to the other, and a candle Destiny had placed nearby abruptly went out. One of the firefighters in the room clearly sensed something was off and visibly reacted with alarm. He would later describe seeing a strange, unidentifiable figure. When Destiny went through the footage that followed, it was hard to deny that something had been sharing that space with them. Here's the moment that really changes things.
Start out the fireman. It's turned off again. guess it just does that every 20 minutes, probably.
At one point, a firefighter set his flashlight down on the sofa while he went to check the breaker box. What happened next was hard to explain. The fabric on the sofa's backrest, right where the light was resting, pushed outward as though something had just stood up, then sank back down as if something had settled into the cushion again. The same pattern showed up in the footage that came after. When the firefighter directed his flashlight toward the sofa, the fabric compressed once more, hinting at something occupying that spot. What made this especially unnerving was that whatever was there seemed to be responding directly to the light. Earlier, a strange shape had flashed into view during the lightning burst in Destiny's room. Then, when the flashlight hit the sofa, the movement happened again. It pointed to some kind of presence that was being affected by light, though what that presence actually was, nobody could say. After doing some deep research into the story, I stumbled across a few theories that are hard to shake. According to some, when lightning strikes, it momentarily bridges our reality with another dimension. For just a few milliseconds, a kind of doorway that snaps open on impact, potentially letting in beings or entities from somewhere else entirely. People online have pointed to this footage as proof of exactly that, and yet the question lingers. Did something from another world slip into Destiny's home that night? Or is there a more grounded explanation you can think of? Drop your thoughts in the comments. A group of cleaners was brought in to sort out a recently inherited home, but the previous occupant had accumulated an overwhelming amount of belongings. The moment they step inside, it doesn't take long before things go sideways. When Katie and her fellow cleaner showed up, they were immediately taken aback by just how chaotic the place was, far worse than anything the photos had suggested when they agreed to the job.
Some pictures of the house, and judging from the pictures that she sent, like, it didn't look like it was going to be that bad or that hard a job. I immediately take out my phone and start filming because I want to show our boss how this client...
As she walks through the door and starts filming, both of them get a serious shock when this unfolds.
Your favorite Americans. What is that?
I wonder how much they charge to clean the house.
Bruh.
That's so cute. Oh, the smell is so bad. It smells so bad. Oh my god, what is that? Flies? Oh, shut the door. Get Thomas to gym and like him. Oh my god, it's moved again. It actually comes towards us. You need to have someone else clean. They don't close themselves. What have you gotten us into? Oh my god, it's so really.
While they're documenting the state of the property, a ride-on toy suddenly begins moving by itself, even shifting direction to follow the cleaners around, completely freaking them out. They go back through the footage to check whether the Thomas toy runs on batteries, only to discover the bottom is solid plastic with no battery compartment whatsoever. So how exactly did it move under its own power, and even pivot sharply in their direction? That was enough for the cleaners to walk out and decide they weren't coming back. But a few days later, the homeowner reaches out to them again.
We would be willing to come back, but only under 3 conditions. Second, that the Thomas the Tank Engine toy would absolutely not be in the house, that we did not want to be in the house with it. And third, that she examined the Thomas the Tank Engine toys and take photos and provide us with photos to show us the train toy is just plastic.
Sandra, the owner.
No disrespect. Yo, I do not know what y'all was charging them to do that. What kind of, y'all, I hope it was worth the money. Like, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars are going in. Besides all of that spooky stuff, like, yo, that's too much. Yo.
Owner agrees to their terms. And after receiving confirmation that the Thomas toy had been removed from the property, they headed back to finish the job. But then this happens.
What is it? Come here. Come see.
It's bad.
No, come here.
Oh, wow. And it's still moving around.
Get out. You have to burn that thing. And then...
Oh,
man. It's so scary.
Once again, even from outside the house, the Thomas toy starts moving on its own, slowly rotating to face the cleaner through the window. But as they push on with the cleaning, she comes across something that sends an even deeper chill down her spine.
Photo
like
album.
what?
And in the album, there's
What
a
could it
picture of a
take?
child. I'm obviously going to post the pictures above, but you can see the
like
kid
the way
on
this
it.
listen keeps
And if you
falling.
look
This
really
gonna be
closely,
happening
you can
on
see that in the pictures is the Thomas train that we keep seeing move. We don't know anything about this boy. You know, we don't know if he still lives here, this was a long...
Katie suspects the toy likely belonged to the boy pictured in the Polaroid photos, and that he probably died at some point, which would certainly explain
On
the
that train? I
unsettling
hope
things
not.
they keep encountering. Later that same evening, a phone call with the owner would leave her shaken to her core.
Oh my goodness. They took the train and threw it in the
I was
trash.
just calling because I had some questions
They
about
took the train and
something
threw
that
it
we
in the
found
trash.
in your
I
house.
promise you they're going to say it. Off site.
That is very personal. That was my nephew. You know, after you sent me the video, I'm wondering too, because that was his train. I don't know what to think. I mean, I don't know how to take it,
But you do feel like that it's your nephew moving the train?
well, you know, anything can happen. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's possible. Okay.
Werner's nephew had passed away, which also explains why so much of his belongings were left behind in the house. His aunt had since become the new owner, and just a few weeks after moving in, she captured something bizarre herself and sent the footage over to Katie. A small door on a toy playset swings open on its own, then snaps shut again, given that nearly all of the strange activity seems to be centered around the toys. Could it be that the spirit of the owner's nephew never actually left? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This footage was captured on June 1st, 2026, and remains the only thing the account has ever posted. The person filming mentions that this isn't a first-time occurrence he lives by himself, and it's well into the night when he picks up on something deeply disturbing happening near his RV. Pay close attention to what unfolds.
Oh. Sam Squish.
Vivo solo en mi casa, salí para
Oh
afuera.
no,
y la
no,
puerta
amigo.
se empezó a mover sola. Mire, pero nadie me cree cuando les digo. Nadie me cree. No hay nadie ahorita ahí.
Bicho.
Vi que se asomó algo y... Ese es mi perro, pero mi perro no puede alcanzar eso.
Pedal's acting like a chump.
Se apagaron las luces, están prendidas.
As he pulls in for a closer look, a dark, shadowy figure can be spotted slipping inside the Arv, only to creep back and peer out, almost as though it's clocked the man standing there with his camera. The door then begins swinging open and shut on its own, and that same dark shape edges back into view. Moments later, the lights cut out completely, and just before the clip ends, the figure appears in the upper window, staring outward before retreating into the darkness. He's far too shaken to step inside and investigate, and honestly, whether this is a genuine apparition or something else entirely, that's for you to decide.
That wraps it up for this episode, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Infused, man. This has been another episode of Infuzed Reviews, man. Y'all know y'all rocking with the best, man. Mr. Sophisticated Legal Chat. Y'all, yeah, we ain't saying all that. But yo, check us out, though, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Shout out to the winner of the 50 subscriber challenge, Alice, man. We asked you where you at, yo. Tap in and get your prize. Yo, next one, 100. You already know what it is. Y'all like it, subscribe. You want to see some more? It's going to help out. It's going to move things forward. We're moving forward to 100 subscribers. We get to 100 subscribers. We're going to Kensington at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to shoot a video with the zombies. Yo, we're going to be out there. We're going to be out there with the squad. We're going to be out there mob deep. So don't try to get the job. Don't try to do that stupid. It's going to get Cupid. We're shooting them arrows like, you know, pew, pew, pew. Valentine's Day setting up. But you already know what it is, man. It's your boy, man. It's been a blessing, man. You already know what I love to do. Come out here and talk to y'all when I'm stressing, man. So look, man, keep your head above water, man. It's going to get better, man. Trust me, man. You got to stay in order, man. Ask for God's blessings. He'll do the resting. Check, man. Stay awoke, man. Stay safe, man. Stay alert. And you know I'm the best. So keep rocking with me, man. And stay infused, man. Tap, man. I'll see you on the next, man. I'll Ha ha ha.